Team Genesis here with another deck profile. We did one yesterday that was on Nightmare Land. Now I'm doing my second teammate deck, which is Gear Chronicles. He chose Gear Chronicles because he had that one time, but he does not play Chrono Jet, he does not play Chrono Fang. He plays the Legion, which is an old build, which the way he built it, very nice. Starter is basically just a grade 3 searcher. Count a bus 1, put into the soul. You look at the top 5, search for a grade 3. Easy enough. Start off with the trigger lineup. We're running basically 8 crits. Simple enough. Next is going to be 4 draw triggers. Of course, you choose these draw triggers. You put them in the soul, choose a unit, gets +3. Easy enough, And of course, just your normal heal triggers. No surprise of that. Of course, onto the grade 1s. 4 of the perfect guards. 2 of the what the hell he says? Withdrawals. My teammates will be helping me say some of the words that have bad pronunciation. So withdrawal gear Raven. He runs 2 of that, and then 2 of the steam baitings. He does not play the unflippers, but he just chose them from the trial deck to make it that it's just you'll have perfect guards at least. Next, 4 copies of the Steam Maiden. He's not a time leap deck, but it's good for getting your opponent's rear guards out. Basically, a G-Break 1 is when it is placed on rear guard, you choose one of your opponent's rear guards, they put it at the bottom, and they can downgrade it. Basically, whatever grade it is goes down to 1. Actually, pretty good skill for it. It takes away your opponent's rear guards. It can mess up a lot of decks. It can mess up a lot of chances for them to ball big plays on their next turn. Next would be basically 3 copies of I don't know how to say his name.
Messenger Dragon.
Messenger Dragon? Basically it's just a vanilla. This is an AK vanilla. He likes to use vanillas in a lot of his deck because, like they always say, an extra K worth everything. Next 2 would be basically the booster for Vanguard. Gets basically when it's boosting, I think it's just when it's just boosting, it just gets an extra 4. So it's a 10K booster. Actually, really good. Especially he runs a Legion. It actually works really well. And the last 2, of course, is going to be the Mist Dragon. I'll put it that way. Mist Dragon, every time your opponent puts a card on the bottom of the deck, gets +5. Which is actually it's worth it. Because if you can call these both out, and plus with this, and you're putting, especially with the Legion skill, somehow you get something to put at the bottom, you won't be able to go with grade 1s higher. Plus these will be basically boosting for 11K, and plus with a 10K to the van. It's a lot of pushing. Those are basically the grade 1s. Next will be the grade 2s. 4 copies of basically the mate. I remember running this one time. But it's basically the rear guard type thing. It says when the attack hits the van, if it is Legion, because you do choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or less, and your opponent puts it at the bottom of the deck. It's the Legion mate. Like I said, that can actually help you out a lot. It'd be better if it was van or rear, because then you'd be able to do a skill a lot quicker.
But it'd be broken.
But it'd be too broken. Pretty wise skill. Sometimes you can put a lot of cards back because it's a pressure on hit pressure. Actually, really good. three copies of the Steam Knight. The Steam Knight. The skill is basically it's actually better. It's actually pretty good because it's not a G break. When it's placed on rear guard, choose one of your opponents. It's basically like the grade 1, but since this is not G break, it actually can help you by taking out their starter, which a lot of clan starters can be a real pain. Put it that way. Next is 2 copies of Steam Maiden. I'm not sure I said that. Ishin. If you're at G break, you get this or anything that could put out. Her skill goes off, and your opponent won't be able to go with grade 0. Basically, it's a silent time. Let's put it that way. If everybody knows, a lot of people probably know that anyway. Silent time type of thing. Last 2 will be basically Steam Fighter. Put it that way. Amber. When it's being boosted, you counterblast 1, take one of your opponent's rear guards and put it to the bottom. Like I said, it's basically this whole deck's just gonna be legions. Gonna basically be just, making your opponent give up their rear guards so they have a harder time for them to push big combos. Because then they have to start putting more rear guards. I mean, it'd be harder for them to deck out, but it's easier for you to stay, survive into, stay one step ahead with the rear guards. Because instead of you attacking the rear guard, you're just basically letting the deck do its work, which is very good. And some ways you want to put it. Some people might say that it's not good, but I like the way its skill is. I mean, as long as it's being boosted, you can't go wrong with that. Last, of course, is going to be the grade 3s. 4 copies of basically Beast Flare Dragon. It's got 2 skills. Basically, it's got a G break 1 skill. You choose a rear guard. You choose one of your rear guards. Put it at the bottom. When the opponent's rear guard is put it in the bottom of the deck, basically it gets 5,000 in crit. So 16k hitter with a crit. Then of course if it's placed on Van, you get to choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or less, and the opponent puts it at the bottom. Easy enough skill. It's actually a good starting off before you stride. You play it, especially if your opponent's he went first, or he or she. You put it at the bottom, and then that's one less rear guard that's out of your way. He does play 7 grade 3s. His next one's, of course, the Legion. This is actually one of the best Legions. I would have said the other one, but it doesn't work as well as this one. This one actually allows your opponent not to be able to go grade 1s or higher. Which, if you could get an opponent's rear guard and put it in the bottom, which this deck is basically designed to do that, any way possible, you're attacking for 20k, no grade 1s or higher. Or if you want to put it with the booster, you could go for 30. You can go basically for 30k, no grade 1s or higher, and that's how you put it. And it also gets another +3 anyway. So basically 34 at your van without even triggers. Pretty easy enough. The last is, of course, the strides. 3 copies of this. The skill is easy enough. Is when it hits, you choose one of your opponent's rear guards and put it at the bottom. There's nothing more to really say about that skill. Next is, this is just going to be basically for power, is Upheaval Pegasus. He only plays this because of the power, because he wants to be able to, even if he doesn't want to go for these yet, he goes for that, at least he'll be at G break 1. Then he don't have to worry about, okay, that's my last stride, I need an effect. Just play it first, and you take it out. You can basically at least be at G break 1. The next one's one of my favorites. Has to be I remember his name. Mystery Flare Dragon. Loved it. I pulled it off a couple times as well. Basically, is if the attack hits, you count about 4, and you look at basically you reveal the next 4 cards. If they're the different grades between 0 and 3, he's allowed to restart your whole entire turn. It stands back up. All your rigors stand back up, and you get an extra turn. But you only pay it if the attack hits, not before. Last one for the strides has to be basically from the trial deck. Has to be this. The skill is very off-putting. Like you don't understand what it meant. It actually makes you to put out G-Break 2 a lot quicker. You go for this. You counterblast 1. You choose one of your G zone face down, and you flip a base up, and you'll be out G-Break 2 real quick. That's why he kind of put up people Pegasus 2, because at least he'll have G-Break 2 and you won't have to worry about when he's going to get to G-Break 2. Last will have to be the 2. He only runs 2 at the moment because we're still working on where to get, or if he wants to, look at different ones. But these 2, he is one of the best G guards I've ever seen for gears. It basically, if your opponent is attacking for a high number and it's all coming from the back rear guard, you use this, it takes it out. And then your opponent loses whatever it is compared to that. So if your opponent is attacking for, say, 46k, you take that out, basically you lose, say, like a 20k. It's down to only basically 26k, which is a really good, better than that. This one just takes a normal unit and a trigger, put it at the bottom, and it gets 5k shield. But this one's actually one of the best. As by far. He doesn't play chronicle, so it's not worth playing the other ones. But that's basically the deck. If you already haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that like button. If you have any ideas of deck profiles we can do, or any ideas of how we can make the deck better, or give us your suggestions on decks, please let me know. This is Team Genesis, and see ya.